welcome to Restaurants of Hawaii on the Hawaii Restaurant Association podcast. In this episode today, we're going to be spotlighting the many different advantages of being a member of the Hawaii Restaurant Association, from network opportunities to the impact of advocacy efforts and all of the different benefits that our other members do provide. So please follow along with this episode, and I'd like to have my guests introduce themselves. I'm going to start off with the lovely Rachel. Rachel, could you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Aloha, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Rachel. I'm the channel manager at HMAA. We're actually celebrating our 35th anniversary this year, providing quality health insurance to Hawaii's employers. And we're very excited to continue our partnership with the Hawaii Restaurant Association to support the growing restaurant industry here in Hawaii.
Thank you, Rachel, and thank you for all that you do and HMAA. Thank you. And to my dear friend, Joy. Joy, could you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Aloha, everyone. Really excited to be here. Joy Barua, President of Finance Insurance, and calling in from Honolulu, and a proud partner of HRA. And not only that, but everything HRA does, including its charitable and foundation work to support workforce development and more. Aloha.
You're so right, Joy. Not only is Joy part of the Hawaii Restaurant Association, he is also a board director for the Hawaii Restaurant Association Educational Foundation. Thank you so much, Joy, for all that you do. Thank you. And Damon, please introduce yourself.
Hi, Sheryl. Thank you for having me today. Appreciate the opportunity. I'm Damon Maletta, founder and CEO of Adesso Capital. I'm going to talk about FICA tip credit today, touch on ERC. My background is I spent about 12 or maybe 15 years building out the lending program for Heartland Payment Systems, but now I'm independent with Adesso and excited to talk to you today about the opportunities with FICA tip credit. Thanks for having me.
Very good. And that's so important, for the restaurants to be sure that they're taking advantage of that credit. And some of the listeners on this show are not restaurants, but guess what? They have friends who own restaurants, and maybe they can mention it to them, Damon, that are you taking advantage? I was listening to this podcast, and are you taking advantage of the tip credit, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, very important. So in this episode, it's all about the amazing perks of joining the Hawaii Restaurant Association and our food service community. And we'll be hearing from our partners today, and they're going to be explaining some of their programs. Follow future shows, because we'll be doing this often, where we will be featuring different restaurant members, how they support other industry members also. So let's get it started. Let's say that, I have to tell everyone, today is actually our first podcast on this new platform. And if anyone has any ideas for future shows, please go ahead and email us at info@hawaiirestaurant.org, because we do want to be sure that we provide valuable content and information to the food service industry. So I'm going to start off with the first question. So to you, Rachel. Rachel, why should someone join the Hawaii Restaurant Association as a member?
So members for the Hawaii Restaurant Association get so many amazing benefits. The first thing that comes to mind is definitely the advocacy that the Hawaii Restaurant Association is able to provide for restaurateurs in Hawaii. Just thinking of all the work that you folks did during COVID, during the Maui wildfires, and just ongoing legislation that truly impacts the business owners here in Hawaii. And of course, the events. You can't go wrong with all the amazing events. We have the legislative meet and greet that we do every year in January, the Hawaii Hotel and Restaurant Show, which is fun to see all the new latest and greatest of options that are available. We just finished up the annual golf tournament, so lots of food and drinks and fun. Coming up, we've got the Best of Hawaii's Best Kitchen, so I'm definitely excited. It'll be my first year going to that, so I'm very excited. And then we got Hall of Fame later this year. So it's really being able to network with other business owners and just really enjoy the food, drinks, and friendship that come with the Hawaii Restaurant Association membership.
Thank you. And you're so right, Rachel. That's what people tell me, Damon. The one thing that they enjoy is all the events that we hold. And it's a great way to meet other businesses in the food service industry. So Joy, why should someone join the Hawaii Restaurant Association as a member?
I'm so excited to answer that question, but I'll take a little bit of a shortcut by saying everything that Rachel said, ditto to that. And then I would just add on that I enjoy volunteering and helping businesses, and Hawaii being a small place where business and sort of connections intersect in a way that we share common interests, be it advocacy, be it networking, making friends, and all together really advancing the mission of the organization, the association, the representation, the collective that we are, and all that we need to do during these challenging times. It's very humbling to see folks come together. So when I show up at events, of course, I enjoy the food and networking, but what I also enjoy more is we all talk about our shared problems, and it helps us sort of figure out how to support each other, how we can complement each other's needs, and all, for the greater interest of being actionable in terms of what we do. And so that aloha, that collaboration really goes a long way in terms of what the association does and nurtures. And I'll tell you, I also enjoy, and recently I enjoyed this big thing we did with also the Hospitality Association. It was just amazing to volunteer and see how many dots they intersect and connect. And it just sort of enriches your mind that you're not in this alone. The association supports businesses. The association supports stakeholders. The association also helps support workforce development, which is so key, because if you think about it, what drives the work we do as businesses? It's our workforce, right? And so how do we empower them? How do we educate? How do we look at what is in the forefront with regards to training needs, advocacy, and so forth? So, I mean, all of the above, everything that Rachel said, and I'm sure Damon will add too, but I'm really excited, and it's truly an honor to be not only be part of this group, but part of the work as it unfolds.
Thank you, Joy. And thank you so much. You're right. The Hawaii Hotel and Restaurant Show, Joy got to spend 2 days with me. And Joy, I have all the pictures as proof that you were in the booth with us. And it was a great
That was fun.
Yes. And I know that you went across the aisle to also the Educational Foundation's booth also, where we held the silent auction. And you're right, those kind of events, Joy, it's so valuable. Members are welcome to volunteer, just like the golf and our upcoming Hall of Fame. And being in the booth, Joy, thank you so much for the time that you spent in the booth, where you could actually speak to a lot of our members who stopped by to say hi, to take a picture, to find out what's going on in the industry. And like you said, Joy, it's being there, being able to speak to everyone that makes the huge difference. It's the face-to-face that we so missed during COVID, right? Where we were all doing virtual. So thank you. One of the opportunities also is being a corporate partner with the Hawaii Restaurant Association. As you can see behind my head is the logo block. And that logo block, if I'm doing a TV media or anything, it follows me around somehow. Everywhere I look, even in the morning when I'm getting ready, Joy, I've got this block behind my head, right? And being a corporate partner with the Hawaii Restaurant Association, you get number one and all the e-blasts. You do get to have your logo go out there. And whenever we are doing things like this podcast, or I do a media request, if the station allows me to keep it up, I do. So that's additional exposure as a corporate partner. So I'm going to ask Rachel to please cover, the corporate partnership, your experience as being the HMAA, I'm going to say this right, HMAA corporate partner, your experience of being a corporate partner with the HRA.
Absolutely. Happy to provide additional information. So we've been partnered with the Hawaii Restaurant Association for several years now. And we are able to provide additional benefits to the members of the Hawaii Restaurant Association. So we provide group health insurance to businesses. So quality health coverage that covers medical, drug, vision, dental coverage. And it's very cost effective. And so being able to be at all of the events with the Hawaii Restaurant Association and talk to our current clients and also prospects has been huge. We've grown exponentially with our partnership with the Hawaii Restaurant Association. And we're able to we see about 10% savings for new groups coming on board with us. And we'll also help subsidize members' HRA dues on an annual basis. So it's a win-win for all of us. And we're very happy to continue this partnership and grow into 2024 and beyond.
Yes. And one of the things that HMAA does really well too, Rachel, is how you team up with other businesses that kind of like there's a synergy where like Guy will team up with somebody who is a Heartland person, and together they'll kind of give each other opportunities and say, hey, there's a new restaurant opening up. I just set up their program, their POS, and then Guy can go in and talk to them about how they can save on their healthcare. The bottom line is what's very important, right, for any business, and being able to save money in that arena increases their bottom line, which is so important, Rachel. So thank you for being a corporate partner with the Hawaii Restaurant Association.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. So now we're going to talk about all the products that you three provide our members, because that's what this podcast is all about. So I'm going to start off first with Damon. Damon, can you please tell us about your products and programs and things that will, different programs that you have that will help the food service industry?
Happy to do that. Thank you, Sheryl. So first I want to mention that I'm a former restaurateur. I had restaurants in Seattle, including Ohana, which is still there since 1999, 25 years. My former partner, Kyle Yoshimura, has been there 25 years. I'm proud of him, but I was a former WRA member. They're now the WHA, but it was a Washington Restaurant Association. So I've walked in your shoes. I understand what it's like to be a restaurateur and bar owner. And you absolutely need to join if you're not a member today, because you need that information. It's not just during COVID, you need the information all the time so you can get great products like what I'm about to tell you about, which is FICA tip credit. FICA tip credit still has low awareness. And I can tell you that what it is at a very high level, it's the tax that restaurant and bar owners pay on tipped wages. Federally insured Compliance Act, or Contribution Act, I should say, for the FICA tip credit, Social Security, Medicare taxes. So it's a little complicated, so I'll keep it kind of high level, but restaurateurs and bar owners pay tax on tipped wages. This is a credit back. It's been around since 1993. This is not COVID related. They enacted this, Congress, to encourage bar and restaurant owners to report the tips. So this has been around for 30 something years, 31 years. Great program. And so we're starting this program. We started, 6 months ago. We're still in beta mode, but what we're doing is we're finding low awareness restaurant and bar owners for the different associations that we're partners with. They have not taken this credit. So I'll give you an example. There's a real example. Just this week, a group in Southern California, they're in Malibu and Newport Beach. I go there all the time to one of their stores because I live in Laguna Beach, and they just got back a credit of $1,064,000. That just happened 2 days ago. That's an IRS credit, and they are an S corp. So what you need to understand is it's an IRS credit, but it can become a refund in some cases. So in this example, it's an S corp, which is a pass-through entity. So an LLC, an S corp, a partnership, those profits and losses flow through to the unit holders or shareholders. So in this case, the owners of this 6-restaurant chain will divide up $1 million IRS credit. Once they amend their personal tax returns, they can get refunds. If they paid tax, you can go back retro 3 years if you haven't taken this. You can't go back 5 years. So if you're not taking it, you should do it now because you can only go back 3 years. So amazing. That's FICA tip credit. It's only for bars and restaurants. I've known about it for a long time. Somebody told me about it in Seattle in, I think, the year 2000. So it had just been around 7 years, and I had a restaurant accounting expert, so they explained to me what it was. But a lot of restaurant bar owners are not aware. It's very low awareness. So we have a program to calculate it, and then we can help you amend your returns to get refunds. So that is FICA tip credit. We are still doing ERC because, Hawaii was mandated all the way through 2021. I believe you guys were mandated longer than anyone. And the Senate never voted to end ERC. So strictly speaking, it's still a thing. We can help with that. And we're still waiting around on we have, several thousand clients waiting for their checks. So you're not alone if you're waiting for your checks. It's painful. The IRS needs to do the job, but we are still doing ERC. But my big new thing is FICA tip credit because of the low awareness. It's the healthiest thing for a restaurateur, a great tax credit that can become a refund.
And may I also say, Damon, many people who aren't a restaurateur have a friend or a favorite restaurant that they go to frequently, and they should mention this and say, hey, by the way, I was listening to a podcast, and please, may I ask you a question? Are you taking advantage of the FICO tip credit? And if the restaurateur looks at them kind of like, what are you talking about? Please have them email. You can email me, info@Hawaii Restaurant Association. Email me at info@hawaiirestaurant.org. I'm happy to forward the information to Damon, who will then follow up immediately. Because Damon, it's the listeners, our audience is also people like Rachel, right? Who's in restaurants all the time. Joy, who eats out almost every day and is in restaurants all the time. Because Joy, I know you do. And it's important that the community try to help those restaurants, Damon.
They need help. They need help. Minimum wages are going up, inflation. They need help. This is the last. This free money doesn't have a duration. It's not COVID related. This goes on in perpetuity, and you can take it every year, and you can go back retro 3 years. So if there's a restaurant or bar owner with tipped employees who's not taking this, they need to take it right away. And they need to understand how it works to get money in their bank account.
And how
they need it.
And how appreciative, right, Damon? If somebody just said, hey, by the way, I just want to mention to them, and they get a credit. Oh my God, that's their new best friend.
Right. I agree.
Thank you, Damon. Thank you so much for providing such a valuable service to our restaurants and bars. And thank you for being a member of the Hawaii Restaurant Association, because what you do is, like I said earlier, help them with their bottom line, help them be financially profitable.
Absolutely.
So in business. I always say, Damon, when a restaurant closes their door, the impact, that ripple effect where, we have some restaurants in Hawaii that are closing soon. And, now that farmer, that supplier lost a customer when that restaurant closes their doors. So you doing what you're doing out there to keep our restaurants profitable is greatly appreciated. So thank you.
Always my pleasure. Happy to help in any way we can.
Thank you. All right, Joy. So as you know, we're going to talk about Joy's finance insurance, their products, their programs. I will say I have been very pleased. Hawaii Restaurant Association uses finance insurance as our provider. And of course, like Joy knows, right? We just had an event, so I had to get event insurance. Joy, I don't know how many events and insurance policies I have to do, but we've been very satisfied. And as I mentioned to Joy, we've been very satisfied with the service and the value that they provide. So Joy, can you share with our members and viewers a little bit about finance insurance?
Absolutely. Thank you, Sheryl, and also for the plug. I'm glad that we're providing you great service and to our constituents, our members. As we all know, insurance is a way to mitigate risk, and we can never have enough insurance when it comes to, especially you look at today's environment with all that is happening, that's unprecedented. Finance insurance has been around for about 50 years, and we're part of the Finance Factors family of companies, which also includes a financial institution, our bank, as well as Waipono real estate investment. And we're proud to say that, of our 50-year history, whereas our family of companies has been around a lot longer, 70 plus years. And what helped us make it through is because doing things family style, local style, as you know, and that requires a high degree of touch, understanding, taking the time to understand your customer. Every customer is different, their needs, as is their insurance. And we're proud to say that we exist to provide differentiated value. And by that, we mean that we empower our customers to make more informed choices when it comes to insurance. And because we have a diverse offering and partnerships with all the major local carriers and national carriers, over 70 of them, we are able to kokua and provide this wide offering of insurance options, be it personal insurance, business or commercial, specialty insurance, just to name the bigger buckets, if you will. We do most, if not all. I also wanted to add that, one of the things that empowers us is the fact that we love to say our mantra across the family of companies: if no can, we can. And that's our spirit in terms of trying to figure out, even in this difficult market environment, working with clients to see what we can do immediately versus intermediately and long term, so that ultimately we're providing the protection that businesses need so that they can do what they do, which is, pursue their entrepreneurial dreams, not just grow, but survive and thrive. I also wanted to share that we are proud to be part of HRA, and we're glad that agents Wade Nakamura and Rick Nakamura provide insurance options. We have about 30 agents statewide, offices as well, and staff. And feel free to give us a buzz at 808-522-2040. If you have any questions relating to insurance, I just wanted to share that we are currently going through a website update. And so any questions, feel free to reach out, just as Sheryl shared with you how accessible she is to her members. Likewise, we are that way as well. So feel free to shoot me an email directly, jbarua@financeinsurance.com. That is my direct email. And yes, I do check it pretty regularly. We're happy to help with any insurance needs you have, like we have been doing for over half a century. And so, Sheryl, I just want to say that thank you for having me here. And, to those watching or hearing, listening in, please become a member. I can't tell you enough about how much value added type of benefits you'll enjoy, not just what is in the flyers and brochures, but beyond that. And it's just invaluable. It's hard to put a price tag on. As you can see from my colleagues from the business world and stakeholders, they are very enthused about not only what they provide, but also what they get back, which and then just enriches us together, not just as a community, but as an association and all that we stand for and all that we do. So thank you, Sheryl.
Thank you so much, Joy. Yes, I did see the guys at the recent golf tournament, and we look forward. I know that, your agents have become friends, and those friends, they attend the events and support in many, many different ways, and it's greatly appreciated. And yes, if anybody has any questions and they want to contact Joy, Damon, or Rachel, always email me, and we can definitely get you in touch with them. So now I'm going to bring back Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel, do you want to go kind of highlight more products?
Sure. Happy to provide a bit more information. So we are partnered with the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association to provide employers with less than 50 employees another option for their healthcare. So with our partnership with the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association, we're able to provide a quote to a smaller business that's like a large group quote. So it's a great way for them to save money. And we have different healthcare options. So 3 different medical plans, different vision plans, prescriptions. So we can really customize the benefit offerings to what you as an employer want to provide to your employees. It's cost effective. We're a local company. And yeah, we're just excited to be able to continue to help restaurateurs here in Hawaii.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rachel. So now, Joy, the next question on the list, Joy and I, this has been, Joy, how many years now have we been acquainted? I want to say it feels like 2 years.
Well, at least.
At least,
Probably
right?
a lot more.
Right, probably a lot more.
I stopped counting already.
Yes, yes. And so, the experience that you've experienced, being a part of the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association has been the last few years. But prior to that, right, you didn't really know about the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association. So now that you're a part of it the last couple of years, because you have no choice, I don't stop calling you, right? Is there anything that you want to mention to people who are viewing this podcast about how your relationship with the Hawaiʻi Restaurant Association is different than what you anticipated it to be?
Oh, totally. So I'll start by saying that it's a lot more than I had expected, which is always awesome. It's sort of like be prepared to be surprised, which is why, and again, at the expense of sounding repetitive and perhaps twisting our listeners or viewers' arms, please join if you haven't. You're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to have a lot of fun learning, meeting people, and connecting those dots. Even though I didn't join the association, I was very peripherally familiar with what the association was doing. And when I started my career about 30 years ago, I know I don't look the part, but hey, let's just chalk it up to high definition video filters. But, I was part of this initiative that, provided opportunities for, small businesses to figure out how to start food related enterprises. And so through that, I was able to get a peekaboo, if you will, in terms of all the complexities that a small business has to navigate. Now, fast forward to HRA joining in. I know, I mean, we know it's the Restaurant Association, and I love food that Sheryl already mentioned, but just joining. And so initially, I would say was a little selfish in that regard, but also to make, connections and network, but to see how those connections come together. And I'll share with you some examples. For instance, Giovanni Pastrami, Ryan Tanaka. I didn't know that, he's obviously our customer, but he also is a HRA member. And actually, they helped me learn a lot more about how they were benefiting beyond just coming to the events, which are great. I mean, you get to see other members and what they learn, what they derive by way of value add. But also when you share with each other, there is a learning curve. There is a collective learning sort of, your learning is empowered further, enabled and elevated. And so with that, you make better choices as a business. You're able to engage the association for any unique needs that you have. So I would just say that, for things that you don't know, don't ever assume that the association can't. The worst case is the answer would be, we don't do that, but let's find out how we can get you that help. And so far, I have not been disappointed, knock on wood, because when I've reached out to Sheryl, I got answers to 3 things while reaching out for 1, and 3 things that I didn't know I needed answers to. I'll just tell you that. And of course, the fun factor where, you start off with acquaintances, then they become interactions, then they become influences and lifetime friends. And I'm just, blown away by all the great things that Sheryl leads along with the board and all the stakeholders. We're very engaged. It doesn't even feel like a hierarchical organizational structure. It feels like we're constantly interacting, we're constantly talking, we're constantly advocating, and we're constantly engaged. And that's what an association should be. A true association that is actually, you get to see what it does. It's very visible and it's very experiential. So thank you, Sheryl, for doing that. I mean, I'm just blown away, and I never shy away. Any event that I miss, I do send my peeps, but I also ask them, what would you learn? What would you get? And they go in similarly with that type of mindset. Our agents are not our employees, but they're just like our business partners. And so, I mean, I could go on and probably do 10 of these shows just talking about all the benefits, but I'm going to stop here just to say that, I really appreciate all that the association does. And let's not forget the times that we've survived through, the pandemic. Although they have waned away, some of those problems still linger on as the industry is still slowly but surely trying to find its footing in terms of the stability in the current business context, right? It's going to take some time. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but it's going to require perseverance, continued advocacy, making sure we're able to advocate knowing what is at stake. And I think in that regard, the association does a terrific job of empowering its members to not only over communicate, but to keep them informed so that, what I normally do when I go somewhere and I'm likely to be asked any question that's pertinent, I just pull up, my phone and I just type in HRA. It just pops up and I have my talking points right there. But, that just goes to say that if the association didn't do its job, I would not feel empowered to be that voice on behalf of the association. So which is exactly why I feel like the association is doing the right things, and I am filled with optimism and hope that we will recover. And as we do, it's what the association does, which is really all of us working together is what makes the association, the power, the influence it exercises, that together we will be able to move those needles and get to a much better place. We are already in a better place, but we have a ways to go, but we'll be in a much better place, say a couple of years from now and down the road. So thank you. Thank you, Sheryl.
Thank you so much, Joy. We really appreciate your support and our friendship. Thank you. So Miss Rachel, before we, close up the show, is there any other comments that you want to make on how the relationship HMAA has had with the Hawaii Restaurant Association has helped HMAA?
Absolutely. It's been, again, several years that we've been partnered with the Hawaii Restaurant Association. And to this point, we are now presenting sponsors for some of the events. And it's always wonderful to get out there and meet the members of the Hawaii Restaurant Association and help build the membership base as well. So we get referrals from Hawaii Restaurant Association members. We are also able to partner them with other vendors that are part of the association. Those volunteer opportunities that are available at the golf tournaments and the Hall of Fame are also great ways for networking for members or people who are interested in joining. So please continue to listen on in the podcast, because we're going to have a bunch of different topics over the next couple of weeks and months. And I look forward to being back.
You will be back, my dear.
I'll be back.
You will be back. So, Damon, do you have any closing remarks that you would like to make before we close off this podcast?
Well, I forgot one part.
Yes.
Again, I'm very grateful for the opportunity. The part I forgot is when a restaurant or bar owner needs to amend their personal 1040 or corporate return to get a refund. We built a pretty nice platform that does this automatically. So the unit or shareholder would not have to upload a single document. We can do that for them automatically. Pretty cool technology. So we're able to amend returns to get refunds fast. So we have that. So I'm just looking forward to helping as many restaurant bar owners in Hawaii as possible and putting money in their bank accounts. That's what we do, and we want to help because they need it. And not to be blunt, but that's what I'm looking forward to, is helping as many members as possible.
No, I appreciate that, because as I mentioned, keeping their restaurants bottom line healthy keeps their doors open. So thank you, Damon, for all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Joy, any closing comments before I close this podcast?
No, I just want to thank you. Likewise, along with my fellow colleagues here. Thank you for the opportunity. We're here, Finance Insurance, to help you with anything we can. And, last but not the least, thank you, Sheryl, for all you do. HRA is the way I'd like to say and end.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
So again, if you're interested in joining the Hawaii Restaurant Association as a member, reach out to me at info@hawaiirestaurant.org. Again, this is Sheryl Matsuoka, the CEO and president of the Hawaii Restaurant Association. Join us and unlock the secret ingredient to your restaurants and businesses' success. Remember, nourish connections, savor life, eat well, and live well. The Hawaii Restaurant Association is the organization unifying, representing, and supporting the Hawaii restaurant, food service, and restaurant industry. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in a future show.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you, Sheryl.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.